I want you to try something with me for a moment. Don't rush it, just notice your body. The next time you stand up, whether it's from a chair, your bed, or the couch, pay attention to that very first second. That tiny pause before your legs fully respond. That slight hesitation most people brush off. If you're over 70, that moment is not random. It's not just age, it's your circulation quietly signaling that something is changing beneath the surface. I'm Dr. William Collins, and after 3 decades working with older adults and studying vascular health, I can tell you this with absolute certainty. What you're feeling in your legs is not simply the passage of time. It's not inevitable decline. In many cases, it's the result of something very specific and surprisingly fixable. Most people are told a familiar story. Your legs feel weaker because you're getting older. But that explanation is incomplete. What's actually happening is far more precise. Inside your legs, especially in the smaller blood vessels deep within your calves and thighs, there's a delicate inner lining called the endothelium. Think of it like a smooth, non-stick surface. When it's healthy, blood flows effortlessly. Oxygen reaches your muscles without resistance. Movement feels natural. But when that lining becomes inflamed or damaged, everything changes. Blood no longer flows smoothly. It slows down. It becomes less efficient. Your muscles begin to receive less oxygen than they need. And that's when you start to feel it. Heaviness, fatigue, even that strange sensation of disconnection in your legs. Now, here's where things get interesting. A long-term study conducted at Johns Hopkins followed more than 2,000 older adults over 8 years. Researchers wanted to understand why some individuals maintained strong, steady mobility well into their 80s, while others began to struggle much earlier. And what they found challenged the usual assumptions. It wasn't just exercise, it wasn't just genetics. The key difference came down to nutrient density. Specifically, the presence of certain vitamins that directly support the health and flexibility of blood vessels, 6 of them to be exact. These nutrients work together like a system, helping your arteries stay elastic, responsive, and capable of delivering blood where it's needed most. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to guide you through these 6 vitamins, from the least discussed to the most powerful. And I encourage you to stay with me, because the number 1 on this list produced results so dramatic in clinical settings that it surprised even experienced researchers. But before we go further, take a moment to connect. Share in the comments where you're watching from today. There's something meaningful about realizing you're not alone in this, that there's a growing community of people who are choosing to stay strong, active, and independent no matter their age. Now, let's begin with the one most people completely misunderstand, vitamin K2. You've probably heard of vitamin K before, usually in the context of blood clotting. That's vitamin K1, but K2 plays a very different and incredibly important role in your body. Its job is to direct calcium to where it belongs, and just as importantly, to keep it out of where it doesn't. When calcium starts accumulating inside your artery walls, those vessels lose their flexibility. They become stiff, narrow, and less capable of adjusting to the demands of circulation, especially in the lower parts of your body, where blood has to work against gravity to return upward. This is one of the hidden reasons why legs begin to feel weaker and less responsive over time. A large population study in Rotterdam followed nearly 5,000 individuals over 10 years and revealed something striking. Those with the highest intake of vitamin K2 had significantly less calcium buildup in their arteries, over 50% less, compared to those with the lowest intake. That's not a subtle difference. That's the kind of gap that separates ease of movement from constant effort. The challenge is that vitamin K2 is incredibly scarce in the modern diet. Decades ago, people consumed it naturally through foods like grass-fed butter, eggs, and organ meats. Today, most diets simply don't provide enough. Fermented foods like natto are one of the few rich sources, but they're rarely part of everyday meals. And as we age, the situation becomes even more difficult. The beneficial bacteria in your gut, those responsible for converting vitamin K1 into K2, gradually decline. So even if your diet hasn't changed much, your ability to produce K2 internally is reduced. There's also an important detail that often gets overlooked. Not all forms of K2 behave the same way. The MK7 form remains active in your bloodstream for up to 3 days, providing continuous support. In contrast, MK4 is cleared from the body within hours. That difference matters when you're trying to maintain consistent protection for your blood vessels. And because vitamin K2 is fat-soluble, it needs to be taken alongside dietary fat to be properly absorbed. A meal that includes healthy fats like eggs, avocado, or olive oil creates the ideal environment for your body to actually use it. This is where many people unknowingly fall short. It's not just about what you take, but how your body is able to process it. And this is only the beginning, because while vitamin K2 helps keep your arteries clear and flexible, the next vitamin on this list works in a completely different way, one that directly influences how your blood vessels expand, contract, and deliver oxygen exactly when your muscles need it most. Now, here's where things start to come together in a powerful way. Vitamin K2 doesn't work in isolation. In fact, its effects on your arteries become significantly stronger when it's paired with another nutrient that most people completely underestimate, vitamin E. For years, vitamin E has been associated with skin health or general heart support. But what's happening inside your leg vessels goes far deeper than that. Remember that delicate inner lining of your blood vessels, the endothelium. Vitamin E acts like a protective shield around it. Every single day, your body produces unstable molecules known as free radicals. This is a normal part of metabolism, but over time, these molecules begin to attack your blood vessel walls, creating oxidative stress. That stress damages the endothelium, making your vessels stiffer, narrower, and less efficient at delivering blood. Vitamin E steps in and neutralizes those free radicals before they can do harm. In one large study conducted through the Mayo Clinic involving thousands of older adults, researchers found that individuals with optimal vitamin E levels had dramatically better blood flow in their legs. Using thermal imaging, they were able to actually visualize circulation. Healthy blood flow appeared bright and vibrant. Poor circulation showed up as dark, almost lifeless areas. The contrast wasn't subtle, it was unmistakable. But here's where many people unknowingly sabotage their results. Not all vitamin E is created equal. Most over-the-counter supplements use synthetic forms that the body struggles to recognize and absorb. Natural vitamin E, especially when it comes from whole foods, is significantly more usable by your body. Foods like raw almonds, sunflower seeds, and wheat germ oil are some of the richest sources. And just like with K2, absorption depends on fat. Without healthy fats like olive oil, avocado, or coconut oil, vitamin E simply can't enter your bloodstream effectively. There's also another detail that makes a major difference. Your body doesn't just need one form of vitamin E, it needs a full spectrum. The best supplements contain mixed tocopherols, not just a single isolated type. When all forms work together, they create a much stronger protective effect for your blood vessels. Even timing matters. Taking smaller amounts with meals improves absorption significantly compared to taking a large dose all at once. It's one of those subtle adjustments that can completely change your results. Now, even if you protect your blood vessels perfectly, there's another problem that can quietly undermine everything: structure. Your blood vessels are not just tubes. They are living tissues held together by collagen, and this is where vitamin C becomes absolutely essential. Most people think they understand vitamin C. It's one of the most well-known nutrients in the world, but very few people realize how critical it is for circulation, especially in the legs. Without vitamin C, your body simply cannot produce collagen. It's not inefficient, it's not reduced, it's impossible. That means your blood vessels begin to lose their strength and elasticity. Over time, they become less capable of expanding and contracting properly. And in your legs, where blood must constantly fight gravity to return to the heart, that flexibility is everything. Research has shown that older adults with optimal vitamin C levels have significantly more elastic blood vessels, and that elasticity translates directly into better circulation, more oxygen delivery, and less fatigue when standing or walking. But vitamin C comes with its own challenge. Your body cannot store it. Unlike fat-soluble vitamins, vitamin C is water-soluble, which means it's quickly used and then eliminated. Many people take a single large dose in the morning, only to have most of it filtered out within hours. The rest of the day, their body is running on empty. A more effective approach is consistency, smaller amounts spread throughout the day. This keeps your blood levels stable and provides continuous support for repair and maintenance. Whole foods can make a big difference here. Kiwi, for example, delivers an impressive amount of vitamin C along with natural compounds that slow its release, giving your body a more sustained supply. Red bell peppers are another standout, offering both vitamin C and natural compounds that help promote immediate blood vessel dilation. And when vitamin C is paired with bioflavonoids, natural plant compounds, it becomes even more effective because those compounds protect it from breaking down too quickly in your body. Now, up to this point, we've been talking about nutrients that support, protect, and rebuild. But what if there was a vitamin that you could actually feel working almost immediately? This is where things take a very different turn. Vitamin B3, also known as niacin, operates in a completely unique way. Instead of working slowly over time, niacin creates a rapid, noticeable change in your circulation. Shortly after taking it, many people experience what's known as a flush. The skin becomes warm, sometimes slightly red, and there's a spreading sensation of heat. That warmth isn't random. It's the result of blood vessels opening, sometimes dramatically. Tiny capillaries that may have had poor flow begin to expand, allowing oxygen-rich blood to reach areas that have been undersupplied for years. Clinical observations have shown that this effect can significantly improve circulation in the lower extremities. Many individuals report that symptoms like nighttime leg cramps begin to fade, sometimes surprisingly quickly. Niacin works on multiple levels at once. It helps improve cholesterol balance, supports cleaner blood flow, and triggers natural compounds in the body that cause blood vessels to widen. It's like increasing the number of open lanes on a congested highway. The flushing sensation, while uncomfortable for some at first, is often a sign that the mechanism is active. However, this is not a nutrient to rush into. The body needs time to adapt. Starting with very small amounts and gradually increasing allows you to experience the benefits while minimizing discomfort. Over time, many people find that the flush becomes much more manageable. There are also practical considerations. The form of niacin matters, and so does how it's taken. Pairing it with meals, introducing it gradually, and being mindful of how your body responds can make all the difference. Because at this stage, we're no longer just supporting your circulation, we're actively changing it. And yet, even with everything we've covered so far, we haven't reached the most powerful part of this equation, the one that ties everything together and determines how efficiently your blood vessels respond in the first place. Now we arrive at the point where the difference truly becomes visible. Up until now, we've been talking about support, protection, and improvement, but these next two are different. These are the nutrients that often determine whether someone remains steady, mobile, and confident into their 80s, or begins to slow down much earlier than expected. The first of these isn't even technically a vitamin. It behaves more like a hormone. Vitamin D3. This is one of the most powerful regulators in your entire body, influencing hundreds, if not thousands, of genetic processes, including the ones that control how your blood vessels function. What researchers discovered in long-term cardiovascular studies was deeply revealing. Older adults with low levels of vitamin D didn't just have slightly worse circulation, they had significantly stiffer arteries and noticeably reduced blood flow to their legs. And that translated into something very real: reduced walking ability, quicker fatigue, and a steady loss of independence. On the other hand, those with optimal levels maintained smoother blood flow and stronger leg function. They moved more freely. They endured longer. Here's why. Your blood vessels are lined with receptors specifically designed to respond to vitamin D3. When D3 is present in sufficient amounts, those receptors activate the production of nitric oxide, a molecule that relaxes and expands your blood vessels. It's what allows blood to move efficiently, even through the smallest capillaries. Without enough D3, that system begins to shut down. Your vessels remain tighter, less responsive, and less capable of delivering oxygen where it's needed most. Now, there's something important about D3 that most people never hear. Your body stores it. Because it's fat-soluble, vitamin D3 accumulates in your fat tissue and is released gradually over time. That's why consistent intake, especially when paired with the right conditions, can create a stable and lasting effect. Sunlight is the most natural source, but as we age, the skin's ability to produce vitamin D drops significantly. Even with regular sun exposure, many older adults simply don't generate enough to maintain optimal levels. That's where supplementation becomes essential. But D3 should never be taken alone. It works in partnership with vitamin K2, the very nutrient we discussed earlier. While D3 increases calcium absorption, K2 ensures that calcium is directed into your bones, not deposited into your arteries. Together, they create balance. Separately, they can create problems. And once again, fat matters. Without it, absorption drops significantly. Something as simple as pairing your supplement with eggs, avocado, or another source of healthy fat can dramatically improve how much your body actually uses. Even with optimal D3 levels, though, there's still one final piece, one that many physicians overlook entirely, and this is where everything changes: vitamin B12. If there is one nutrient on this list that can create a noticeable, sometimes dramatic difference in how your legs feel, this is it. B12 operates on multiple levels at once. It supports the production of red blood cells, which carry oxygen throughout your body. It protects the nerves that control your blood vessels, ensuring proper signaling and response. And it helps regulate certain compounds that, when elevated, can damage your arteries and restrict blood flow. When B12 levels drop, all three of these systems begin to weaken simultaneously. And here's the part that catches most people off guard. As you get older, your ability to absorb B12 from food declines, sometimes drastically. Even if your diet includes plenty of B12-rich foods, your body may not be able to extract and use it effectively. That means deficiency can develop quietly. The symptoms? They often look exactly like what people assume is normal aging: numbness, tingling, weakness, poor balance, that burning sensation in the legs that shows up at night. But those signs are not normal. They are signals. Signals that your nerves and circulation are not receiving what they need. What makes B12 especially powerful is how quickly the body can respond once levels are restored. Many people begin to notice subtle changes, warmer legs, better responsiveness, within a relatively short period of time. Over time, those changes can build into something much more significant. There's also a practical advantage. Unlike many nutrients that must pass through the digestive system, certain forms of B12 can be absorbed directly under the tongue. This bypasses many of the barriers that come with aging digestion and allows for much more efficient delivery into the bloodstream. And the form matters. Active forms, those your body can use immediately, tend to be far more effective than synthetic versions that require multiple conversion steps. Now, take a moment to reflect on everything we've covered. This isn't about chasing perfection or changing everything overnight. It's about awareness. It's about understanding that what you feel in your legs is not random, and it's not something you simply have to accept. If you were to take one step from here, just one, choose a single area to focus on. Pay attention to how your body responds. Notice the small changes, because those small changes are often the beginning of something much bigger. And if this message resonated with you, I'd like you to stay connected. Subscribe to the channel and join this growing community of people who are choosing to stay active, informed, and in control of their health as the years go by. Next time, we're going to talk about something equally important: 3 common foods that may be quietly working against your circulation without you even realizing it. Until then, take care of your legs. They've carried you this far, and with the right support, they can keep carrying you much further.